Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and I'm finally going to talk about the 5.9 12-valve Cummins that I started talking about a year and a half ago, and then as of like a year, couldn't really talk about a lot. And I'll tell you why, what caused that, and where we're at now. So hang on, here we go. And this is just a talking video, so come back to the next episode if you want a typical roadside rescue. So since the oil pressure in my 6.5 would get low whenever it warmed up, I decided a year and a half ago, like, all right, I'll just get a Cummins. I've always dreamed of having a Cummins in a big truck like that. That was just the one I found, but I'm like, here's my chance, I'll get a conversion kit. So I bought a conversion kit and I put a down payment on a 12-valve Cummins. That was gonna be a long block with a couple of additional things because I was swapping a Cummins in to a place where Cummins didn't come out of, so exhaust manifold, things like that, I needed a little bit extra. So I pay for that, and I look up the business before I pay for this. It looks pretty legit. The business website, it's like 8 years old, and the way they are marketed look pretty professional. So they talk the talk, and it looks like everything's legit. So I pay a big old down payment, about half the price for this engine, and it has a 2-week turnaround time. I was a little concerned 2 weeks is a lot. I was hoping they just have some stuff ready, but I was thinking, this is going to be a nice build. I'll wait 2 weeks, and I was thinking maybe a month or so I won't have my big truck. So I started setting up the Ranger. That was about the time I made that Ranger video, and I was putting my toolbox in there and getting a little small toolkit for that, so I didn't have to always put tools in there because I knew I was going to be using it for a month or so. Well, 2 weeks rolls around and the communication has been poor, and I'm like, I'm ready to get my engine. What's the address? And I would get responses like, oh, well, what color do you want it painted? Like, red, but I don't care, don't paint it, like, I'll paint it, I'll pick it up today. What's the address? And I wouldn't get a response. It would be like the next day or late that night, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, I need my engine now. And so it goes on like this until 30 days rolls around, and in the state of Utah, after 30 days you can legally demand a refund if you haven't received the product that you've paid for. And so I make sure and that I have in writing that the engine isn't ready yet. And so I then pay to do a background check on this person so that I can send them a demand refund in the mail, certified, so that there's proof that they received it. But when I pay for the background check, I find out that this person has had 4 business names in the last 2 years through different people's in their family's name, and they would just rip people off until they couldn't get any more customers, and then they would jump to the next town over and start over. And turns out that I just got swept into that. So I was at that point a little bit like just dismayed, and it was the last thing I wanted to deal with, as the last year that I was going to be in school was rolling around, and I was getting really stressed for that, and it took up most of my time. We'll talk about that in a second, why that affected this. But so I send that letter of demand of refund to a couple of different addresses just to make sure that they get that. And at that point I start getting like, $20, $50 a month from this person. But I was just starting school, and it was just enough to keep me from like filing a lawsuit against them, suing them to get my money back, because it was like $50. Or it'd be like $20, and I'm like, dude, that's not enough. I need my refund. And then they'd send me like, well, here's like $40, here's $50, and it was just enough. I'm telling you, with school, I just lost my focus on that, and it was enough to keep me off my game. But when I was done with all that, like a year later, I come around and I'm like, I've got to set boundaries, set an expectation, because I need, I'm not gonna let myself just get swept away in all this. I'm sure they're used to just running around and not getting paid back by people, and I'm like, I don't want to be the person that just gets taken advantage of. And so I tell this person, I'm like, in 3 months, I demand a full refund, or I'm taking it personal. At that point, I just decided over that year, I was wondering, should I file a lawsuit? I had contacted collections agencies, business-to-business collections agencies, but everybody wants like 30%. And I knew the chance of me getting my money back, because this person had already changed their business name again to a new one. the chances of me getting my money back, I thought were really slim. So I thought my best chance was to tell this person, hey, I'm going to take it personally and I owe it to my viewers who are invested. So I set this expectation and I say, you know, I'm going to have to make some stories. I'm going to have to come, you know, try and do an interview, talk about your business, what's going on, what happened. You know, I was telling him I'm fine taking it from your perspective as well, you know, tell both sides of the story, but I need to do something to regenerate some form of energy that I have invested in, that viewers have invested in this project so far. And as of a year, you know, I wasn't really able to talk about anything. So I kind of don't really get a response, but the next month rolls around and on the day I remind them 2 months and then I get a response, oh yeah, sure, what, you know, I'll have your money, whatever. And then I kind of set the expectation again, you know, it's probably just best for everybody and for the amount of energy we're going to have to put into it, that person, whether they decide to collaborate or to run away, you know, just looking over their shoulder or be popping up in their shop one day just to, you know, make a video and talk about what happened, you know, that was always going to be on the table. And so I kind of set that forward and was like, it's best if you just take out a loan or whatever you have to do to just be done with this, and I'll be done and I'm fine with that and they could be done, and you know, no hard feelings. I just wanted my money back. And they kind of tried to spin it around as like, oh well, you paid for some of it and then you didn't want to pay for the rest of it and that's why I don't have your money. But after 30 days, you know, that was 2 weeks overdue. I already demanded my money back 18 months later. You know, on top of that, I was telling them I should be charging interest for inflation over the last 2 years, but I'm not. I just want my money back. I don't want any drama. So I think they thought that was a little bit sincere. And then, you know, like the day before, I think was the very first time they actually sincerely like sent a message that seemed legitimately like, okay, hey, I'm really trying to put something together here. And they were like, but I need until, it was like 48 hours or something, but it was the day after I had told them. So I'm not sure if they were trying to push that boundary, but I wasn't going to give up that boundary that I had set, you know, 3 months prior. That was the night I told them at midnight that night. You know, the next day at 12:01, I made it very clear that was the time that it wasn't about the money anymore. It was about the story. And so they were trying to push it just to the next day. And I was like, are you serious? I'm like, no. And so this person kind of begrudgingly that very last day is texting me, oh, well, you know, I don't start working until 6 p.m. and so I couldn't meet you till after then. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know that sort of stuff. I'd never been told that, but I don't want to start anything either. So I'm like, okay, like I'll meet you wherever before midnight. Let me know, like within an hour drive. I'm not gonna drive wherever. You know, I don't want to be a huge hassle, but I do want to get my money back. And so finally in that afternoon, they're like finally putting everything together, because I told them, I'm like, no, like dead serious, tomorrow I'm coming to your shop. And I think they thought, because the day before, I think they thought they could just kind of get away with it. Like, oh, I'm out of business. And I was like, I know, I've already done a background check. I know about all of your old businesses. I think that's when they realized, like, oh, I was going to find their next business. Like, you know, I wasn't just naive and, you know, lost and not able to track them down. That's when they really were working together with me, trying to get me repaid. And so they want to meet up at like 9 p.m. at this abandoned storage facility. It's not abandoned, but it was dark and in the middle of nowhere, the storage unit out by the lake in the middle of the countryside after dark. And so that was a little scary. I took my brother with me. We took some protection and we drove down there out into the countryside a little after 9 p.m. But we're waiting and I don't know if this person was supposed to work there at 6 p.m. or what, but they weren't there at 6 p.m. 11:45 p.m. rolls around, and I'm starting to get stressed because it's easier if I just get repaid. I don't want to have to go through all that. They don't want to either, but 15 minutes to spare. Here they come driving in, and I get repaid. So I was able to take that, and we got those other engine components we've already started making videos about. I'm excited because they're international harvester block and head, and Cummins actually had a higher standard for outsourcing their manufacturing of their nickel content. So international harvester blocks and heads are regarded as being just a little stronger. I don't think I'm gonna like be pushing the limits for too long in that thing, but it's cool that it has international components. Some really nice components. Check out those videos. A little bit more than than a short block, which is what I was anticipating purchasing initially. So we got a good deal, and if you want to check that out, again, check out those videos. Thanks to everybody who supported the channel, the people who have supported since day one, and the people who are supporting as of right now. Subscribe if you like the videos, and I'll see you on the next episode.